Do you like the hop to a girl? Hop to a.
Hop to a.
Do you like spit on your thing? Hop to a.
Hop to a.
Have you ever watched the Talk to a podcast? Hop to a.
Hop to a.
Talk to a.
Talk to a.
What's it like to get slop from someone you love? Talk to a.
Talk to a.
Do they teach you how to give hop without the tua? Talk to a.
Talk to a.
48 minutes of dogs barking. 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 Growl. Growl. 48 minutes of dogs barking. 48 minutes of dogs barking.
You're saying someone ate all the pussy? And you're laughing?
I am Murray. Yes, welcome to 48 Minutes of Dogs Barking. My name's Jason. This is Brian.
Hey.
And apparently I'm going through puberty again. That's fun. You caught it right there.
I dropped your taco in the fryer.
Every day I get
Become
to...
the squeaky voice teen.
I really do. It's very sad.
Yeah, I mean, my voice still cracks too.
Does it?
Yeah, like I'll be at work and I'll like get on. We talk on walkie-talkies, and I'll get on the walkie-talkie and be like, "Hey, can you guys go do this thing?" And I'll be, "Hey, can you guys go do this thing?"
Right.
Like I have to like overcorrect.
You try
And
to...
I'll be sitting there with my supervisor, and she'll be like side-eyeing me, like, "The fuck."
I love
And
this.
so now I just like lean into it like, "Hey, Rick."
Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez.
His warehouse is all messed
Oh,
up.
jeez, what doc are you going to be putting that one in? All right. All right, what lane? Okay.
Well. It has been, as always, a very strange week.
It's never not strange.
It never is not, I tell you.
It's always painful.
The What's Hot Classic this week, that's what I'm calling this segment until I can figure out something better. It
Is that like being a hot wife?
a little bit, but just for the internet. This week, Hurricane Helene battering the living shit out there on the East Coast, and Marjorie Taylor Greene, the brain trust of all.
the brain genius, the stable genius of the new right.
Yeah, Congresswoman for Georgia's 14th district. Yes, they can control the weather. It's ridiculous for anyone to lie and say it can't be done. Now,
How's a real? Ooh, what's going on with me? I'm dying over here.
join the club, brother.
Oh, acid reflux is going on, man. Oh, jeez.
Mm-hmm.
So I was talking to you before we were recording, and you're kind of bringing up this is one of the things you want to touch. And I go, if they can really control the weather, why are they always complaining about the humidity?
My point exactly. Yes.
Yeah.
See, yes. There was a whole novelty song in the 90s. You remember this? Two Live Jews?
Yes.
Oi, it's so humid.
Oi, it's so humid. Oi, it's so humid. Oi, it's so humid. It's like a sauna in here.
Not our greatest moment in cultural sensitivity as an American, but of course, readers adding context on Twitter via the Community Notes app saying that besides of cloud seeding, you can't really do that. It's just, of course, we know what they means in this context, and we know about, what controlling the weather. A lot of people responding with things like, yours is a special kind of stupid. As a meteorologist, I need to hear more. So, my personal favorite response, though, was Patton Oswalt in a quote tweet saying, "This is so offensive and untrue. At Mel Brooks, please send a thunderstorm to wreck her house."
Fucking do it.
Yeah, I said bucket list trimmer at JRP461. I thought it was Max Brooks who controlled weather and Mel Brooks who keeps the Martians under wraps. You see, you got to get the separation of powers correct there in the Brooks family.
First, it's the Jewish space lasers.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's just
Anti-Semitism is like a brain virus.
it goes in such. It's a spiral.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where like MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's come out against the war in Israel, but unfortunately not for the reasons. It's like like I remember first like she's spoken out against the war in Gaza. And I'm like, huh, and then I kind of sunk like no, No, it's
Nope.
not gonna. No, it's like a don't open dead dove.
Yeah, I don't know what I expected.
Don't know what I
exactly.
expected.
You're on the right side for the wrong reasons. I don't know if I want to take you as one of us.
Yeah,
That's kind of
it is a rough ass thing, and
It's so damn weird. She's such a weirdo.
she's gonna start saying like the Jewish people have tails and hooves and stuff. You know, like bring back like some old school anti-Semitism.
Start kind of crossbreeding it with the David Icke lizard people. Maybe you got
Sure.
something going. Yeah, I don't know what.
If a Jewish person sleeps in a bed of straw, they wake up with a hair lip. It was just something really absurd.
Really, yeah. Well, I mean, at this point, you're just throwing stuff at the wall. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They control the weather. Sure.
If you throw a coin off a cliff, a Jewish man will fall off like a lemming.
If
You know,
you-
like, just like
yeah.
something where you're like, huh?
if you throw a bunch of rice on the ground, they have to stop and count each individual grain.
you
You
throw
know?
a bunch of pennies on the ground. Come on, Jace. Stick with the program.
That's true. Yeah, you can't. They can't cross a river. You know, that kind of thing. It's just so many things wrong with every single part of that sentence. It's just so bizarre.
What the fuck? That's an elected official.
Yeah, people in Georgia have not only elected her but re-elected her. If it was a one and done, I'd be like, oh well, okay,
Well, yeah,
all right, you get one.
but she's in like Gephardt, like never gonna leave.
Yeah, I have that feeling. Yeah, it's her and Kristen Sinema and a couple of those other ones, those wackadoos. They're not going anywhere.
They've got their hands stuck in the congressional vending machine. They won't let go of the pudding pop.
They are holding on for dear life. Well, speaking of holding on for dear life, AI is trying to hold on for dear life as
Sure
people
is.
continue to make bullshit out of it.
The end of tech.
Not the least of which this week was a gentleman creating an AI version, a shot-for-shot remake of the Princess Mononoke trailer. This here, according to The Wrap, the AI-generated remake was created by AI entrepreneur PJ Asaturo, combining AI-generated CGI shots that match the film. The result is, quote, a crime that turns a 15-year-old Japanese girl into a white woman with a smoky eye and bikini tan lines, and is enough for me to think we should bring back tarring and feathering, said literary agent Roman Panganaban. Roman Panganaban, I am with you. This looks god-awful. Is it weird to me that the AI spat out what looks like Jenny Ortega as as Mononoke?
It's really strange, and I guess there's like a deep irony here. Because isn't Princess Mononoke like a part? Isn't it about like the destruction of the environment and like how that? It's about like capitalism, raping Mother Gaia. So you're using AI, which is this energy inefficient process, to then bastardize something that hundreds of thousands of people over the world probably hold precious in some way.
Yeah. Miyazaki himself has stated, according to this Wrap article, when presented with an example of the use of AI in animation, quote, I strongly feel that this is an insult to life itself. So not only is it against the message of the film, but the creator of the film thinks AI itself is a insult to life.
It is, and as I've only seen Princess Mononoke once, but it was a 4K restoration in the theater a year or so before the pandemic. Was completely fucking blown away. I think that was the same summer that we saw Perfect Blue at midnight screening, and what a nice time for movie going that me and a couple friends had.
Oh, yeah.
And I was blown away. I always heard that film was like a top tier fucking deal in pretty much every way, and like it lived up to it. Boy and the Heron just popped on Max. I'm looking forward to watching that at some point.
Yeah, we saw that this summer, and it was delightful. And if this is, again, supposedly Miyazaki's final movie, we'll see, because he keeps coming back to do another one. Like, you thought I was gone, but here's The Wind Also Rises.
But anyways, it looks awful. The mouth movements are terrible. It feels soulless
Yeah.
and stilted. I haven't really been keeping up with Ed's podcast. I haven't really been keeping up with anyone's podcast right now, just because I got so much going on.
Former guest of the show, Ed Zitron's the podcast Better Offline, yeah.
He has made the argument, and I don't think he's alone in this, that this rush for AI is kind of the end of the tech boom, because there's like nothing. We can't make the phones that much better. We can't make the TVs that much better. We
Right.
can't make the internet. Like we're going up against the limits of this era of technology. So this is kind of like the last time to get that sweet VC money and for people to get their ducats. It's a fucking race to the bottom.
Yeah, well, Twitter's also on a race to the bottom. The other day, Ken Klippenstein, friend of the show, has been banned from Twitter. Now, the reason for his ban was whatever post he put out violated the rules about posting private information. What he did was he published the opposition research that the Trump campaign did on vice presidential hopeful J.D. Vance. This is publicly available information. You know, his education records, all that stuff is publicly available. Mm-hmm. Elon Musk's Twitter decided that these two tweets, both saying, here's the dossier and foreign influence operations are a joke, and if you think they can swing an election, you need to take a deep breath. Which, okay, I might disagree with you on that one there, Ken, but the principle of the thing is the same. He published the information that he had in the interest of the public good. That, to me, is what journalism is, and Twitter banned him for it. Yep. Banned him for doing a journalism.
Yeah. The same week that the head of this platform, Elon Musk, jumped on stage like a fucking... like a kid with sticky hands. Embarrassing. You saw that photo of Trump looking over his shoulder like, the fuck is this? What? And one of those few times we're like, yeah, man, I know. We're like, yeah,
I'm with
right.
you.
He's right. Like, Trump is right. No, what the fuck is this?
Right.
This fucking, he's like, this fucking nerd.
Yeah, he's a albatross around your neck.
Yeah, like he kind of needs him. Elon is a useful idiot.
Oh, absolutely.
Donald Trump told me that I needed to go into the basement and find the bacon stretcher. I've been down there for 3 weeks.
I could not find the camera keys to turn all the cameras on. I am going to be in so much trouble.
He also said I needed to find the pasta stretcher.
I could not find the blinker fluid for the car. You know, I just can't do it.
You ever had a job where you told like someone like young and naive on their first day, like, "Hey, can you go into the building has no basement?" Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, in our high school, we did not have a roof that was accessible. But you tell the freshmen that there's a pool in the roof. Just don't tell anybody about it. You know, you go up to the 4th floor and they'll spend hours searching for it. The keys to the cameras thing, that was something from the mass communication, because those TV cameras in the studio, they're on those big rolling dollies, and so they look like they might need a key to start them. Yeah. So you see, look for the
fucking dollies aren't fucking. They're
huge.
fucking heavy.
Because you're supposed to be able to like stand on them and like shift your body weight around. Yeah, telling the newbies that to look for the pasta stretcher. It's great fun, and I think you could keep Elon busy for a very long time looking for that, because he won't admit that he's wrong.
Imagine you told him he had to look for the pig labeled 2. I found pig 1 and 3. Mathematically, you deduce that there would be a pig that was also labeled 2.
He would too. He would just go for it. Whole hog. So Klippenstein himself defends his actions. First of all, saying, hey, the private information was gathered through online records, Nexus articles, news articles, active on archive web pages, public records, and the resources of state, federal, and municipal government offices. In other words, he says, everything was out there either readily or for purchase. And he also continues, on one hand, this is a very funny end to my Twitter journey. On the other hand, I no longer have access to the primary channel by which I disseminate primarily news and shit posts, of course, to the general public. And yeah, it's very bad. It's a chilling effect, as it's called. Now, of course, this is Ken Klippenstein. He's kind of a known entity. It's a little different if he was a stringer at some local paper, you know what I mean?
Right, but this is like a guy who has been, like, he was in the QAnon documentary. He's written all kinds of cool shit. Like he is a dude about town.
If you go to kenklippenstein.com, by the way, I'll put the link in the comments, because it can be a little bit difficult to spell if you're not paying attention.
Have you looked at the dossier?
Yeah, it's very large. It's a lot of stuff. It is a 6 meg PDF file. Not all that large in terms of that type of thing, but I mean, it's 271 pages, so I haven't read it all. But, there's a list of every article he was mentioned in, things about where he lived, where he's quoted in articles.
I don't think I've ever seen an APO file before, so this is very interesting. Like the way that the information is put together. Mm-hmm. Huh.
So potential opposition narratives, top hits, meaning that the biggest things that he's done. Questionable conservatism is one of the subheads under top hits. Election results when he was elected to the Senate. You've got campaign finance documents.
Huh.
Voting records, education records, public compensation records, his military record from the Marine Corps.
It's traffic citation.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Is it true that you were moving a load that extended past the tailgate of your F-150 without putting a red hanky on the end? It's absurd to think that I would put the hanky code on my manly vehicle.
Here's a $95 speeding ticket in Fairborn, Ohio. Okay, now see, they did blank out information about his home, but how much he paid for it, $1 million. You know, how much...
My truck is not in the fisting. That's what a red hanky means, apparently.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, it sure does. Filed a small claims court case against Bluebird Partners demanding $4,000 for rent and damages in New Haven. No legal issues of note. He's the owner of 2 businesses. So all this stuff is very factual. It's laid out, and here's the things we could find on what the LLC he has, and when did he create it, and is everything correct? Records of his nonprofits. I mean, if you really want to dig through this, it is really worth going to kenklippenstein.com.
To me, it's just interesting to look through an Oppo file.
Yeah.
The way that information is collected and it's summarized, like, it's very neat.
It really is. But there's this whole thing about Iranian malicious actors. It doesn't have to be an outside force putting this together, because from what I understand, this was put together by an American against an American. This is, these are documentation things. These are just things that you can confirm are true. You can look it up. You can go to Pacer, or you can go to whatever. You can pull these lawsuits up. You can pull these real estate records up. This is not anything that can't be found already. So to ban someone, to me, is like, well, I don't know. I think it rises to the definition of publicly available.
Yeah.
So,
and I think it's information for the public good.
Yes. It is doing a journalism.
It's not really doing anything wrong. Maybe it's wrong in the sense that you feel like it's against your guy, but like,
yeah, I mean
fuck you.
Yeah, pretty much.
The guy that looks like a weird Egyptian red boy.
Is it the eyeliner? He says he doesn't wear it, but I don't buy that for a second.
Someone told me that he just must have really like defined skin flaps or something. I'm like,
maybe.
What was he, like a Pyrenees or something? Like a dog? Like very defined skin flaps.
It's the human Pyrenees. Yeah.
The human Pyrenees, JD Vance. You watched the vice presidential debate, right?
For a little bit. That was the same night there was a chili cook-off in our neighborhood. So.
do I want to see the fate of the country, or do I want to eat some bowls of chili?
Well, thankfully, it came on late enough in the night that I could do both.
Yeah.
So I did walk away with a prize. I got a second place on there. That's pretty good. The vegan chili with
your chili is pretty top tier. I've had it a few times.
Thanks, man. But yeah, so I walked away with a little gift card to the local pub, and then I was like, oh, we still have an hour before the debate comes on. Perfect. I watched about an hour of it, and then I'd pretty much had all I could stomach of JD Vance. And, Tim Walz wasn't...
And Tim Walz looking like he's at the mechanic being told worse and worse news about his repair. Like, every time he'd, like, look down, look up, like, really concerned. I'm like, yeah, dude, that's another 5... Yeah, dude. We were checking out the gasket.
Yep.
The gaskets are fucked, bro.
Yep.
And we're seeing a lot of leakage.
Mm-hmm. And then that's like $200 for the blinker fluid. You got to get that going.
He's getting fucking reamed.
Yeah. That's JD Vance selling you a bill of goods. Because I tell you, man, like, he's sure good debater, slick talker, but he didn't say anything of substance. That was my main problem with him. Is like, say something. Oh well, Yeah. His first answer of the night was, I want to tell you a little bit about me for a minute of the 2 that he's given, and then kind of doing a roundabout answer in the second. And also the moderators. The first question of the night was, so Iran deserves to die. How do you feel about it? Like, what the fuck? So how often should we bomb Iran? Like, whoa. We're going to lead with this?
Yeah.
This is our opening question, huh?
Do they control the weather? Now, my fellow Congresswoman,
Mary Tyler Green
has been misquoted by the slanderous leftist media.
Right.
We have to understand here, she did not say who they were. Mm-hmm. You're condemning her on your own assumptions.
Yeah, she meant the Senegalese. I don't know who she meant by they.
The Moorish.
Yeah. Could be anybody. The
Shriners. What do you think? What do you think they're using to power those little cars?
Exactly. Yeah, see, they got it. Well, I guess it's that time. I guess it's time for Crypto Scammo of the Week, Brad.
Yeah, baby.
You're listening to 48 Minutes of Dogs Barking, the podcast.
And now it's time for the Crypto Scam of the Week.
Are you familiar with ICH Coin?
I've heard of it, but that's about it. I'm vaguely familiar with this.
Micah Hatfield at ABC 13 News in Houston, Texas. The FBI is looking to identify additional victims of a fraudulent cryptocurrency platform. So the special agent in charge, Amanda Culver from the FBI Houston branch, called ICH Coin both a scheme and a scam. Oh, it's both? Oh, geez. Oh, boy. She said it starts with someone reaching out to the victims on social media, including Instagram and Facebook, and asking if the recipient wants to learn more about investing in cryptocurrency. She said the profiles are fake. The victims are then directed to WhatsApp to communicate with the individuals claiming to teach them. From there, Culver said the people are urged to lie to their banks about large wire transfers from the account to ICH Coin. The victims track their return on investments on an ICH Coin app, but there's no return on investment. They try to collect their money, they're ghosted, can't get their money back. I know this kind of goes without saying, but if anyone comes to you out of the blue and says, hey, do you want to make money on fake internet money?
Yeah, it's the same thing if someone you really don't know says, hey, you want to smell my finger? You say, no, sir.
No, sir. Yeah, absolutely not.
Even if it's an older boy.
Because it really feels like this is one of those scams that's going to hit people who are less experienced with the internet, someone who's really gullible about getting Facebook messages. And those two alone points me to older folks, right? People who have savings for their retirement or what have you, that they're going to transfer via fucking wire transfer to these people they don't know. It's baffling. Yeah, it says the average person could be fooled by this scam. The average person is, I hope, smarter than this. I try to have more faith in my fellow human beings than this, but every day I get proven incorrect in so many ways. So, Crypto Time. And then they said that people got for $30 million. If you go to the FBI's website, you can fill out a questionnaire, and they may have more information for you if you do that. Yes, they said since December 2023, $30 million has been lost to ICH Coin in the U.S. I don't know. Don't accept incoming Facebook messages from people you don't know talking about crypto at all, period. That feels like that should be a no-brainer. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Oh, I am?
Listen, if it was a Nigerian prince
Yeah.
or a chainmail that your great aunt would forward you, really the best thing to do is to throw your phone into a slow-moving river and to walk away and never look back. Fuck being a digital nomad. Just be a nomad.
Just be a Luddite.
Yeah.
And just,
ride the rails. Look for your hot eats.
Yeah.
Your hots in a cot.
Yeah, get your bindle together.
Get your bindle. Your bindle with your abacus and your checkbook.
Exactly.
Because you've forsaken all technology. When's the last time you've written a check?
Well, I used to write checks for all my bills. It's only been in the past couple of years that I've abandoned checks. My wife got the brilliant idea, which I'm sure has been, hey, why don't we auto pay all the bills on a credit card that we then pay off? And then you get points. I was like, well, fuck. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. We should have been doing this years ago. That's the last time I wrote a check. If I'm buying a car and I'm buying a car cash, I'm not carrying around that 10, 15 grand with me in my pocket. I'll write you a check.
I want to riff on you.
Oh, no. The fact that he has to look up something to dunk on me is not great.
The fucking post-COVID brain. Sometimes I just space out on stuff. The way that I had to get around to remember whose actor was the movie Matchstick Men.
Okay.
Which is, I now find out, is now 20 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck me. Fuck this passage of time.
Talking about Sam Rockwell?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm talking about. Well, he's in that movie.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Nicolas Cage. I was like, real Nicolas Cage. I'm not gonna write you. I'm not gonna walk around with $10,000.
I've done that once or twice, and I was so fucking nervous the whole time. Carrying around cash. I'm like, what the fuck?
You think you're like, that black kid, he can smell it.
No, it's not.
He's gonna knockout game me.
It's not specifically like that. It's just like
You're Googling castle doctrine. Terrible person.
Man, I'm a nervous person, okay? I once had a recurring nightmare about getting stabbed to death in a Schnucks parking lot. Okay? And so now every time I go to Schnucks, I'm looking over my shoulder, okay? I have one time for like a week, I had a recurring nightmare about getting stabbed in a Schnucks parking lot.
Was it when the talking vegetables from the commercial?
No, it was a person, but they had a mask on. I couldn't see him. But
their lips were moving like they were paper mache.
It was a nightmare. I don't know.
Schnucks that had that commercial? Was that Shop and Save?
The talking vegetables. I think that was Schnucks because they had the whole vegetable force bit where they had free fruits and veggies for the kids when they came to the store, but they also gave the kids a free cookie. So it's kind of figure it out, guys. Are you promoting healthy eating or are you going to give them a cookie? But yeah, so I'm a nervous person, is what I'm saying. It's not a race thing. It's just a nervous guy thing.
It's gonna be so funny when I stab you in that parking lot.
When we're like both, in our 50s, like, you son of a bitch. As I lay dying, how could you? I trusted you.
I got your 10 grand, motherfucker.
That was from my Vance. I can't believe you.
5 Vans.
That shit's expensive, is what I'm saying. Yeah.
I was gonna buy a parrot and eat it.
The forbidden meat. Eat it on my behalf. Yeah.
I was gonna go down to the pound and buy a dog and string it up and beat it with a stick.
I just wanted to see what it was like. Yeah. Jesus.
My grandpa said what he did when he was stationed in the Philippines.
Oh.
So that the meat gets more juicy.
Yeah, you got to tenderize it. Yeah, that's how it goes.
It loosens up the fibers.
Oh. Well, speaking of dogs and places that you don't want to go. Yeah, that's about it.
That's it.
We had this idea last week, and I didn't get the bat off my shoulders, and I'm really sorry that I didn't because I really enjoyed doing the research for this. Our main topic this week is when two internet jokesters sent Pitbull to Alaska. Not just any place in Alaska, but the island of Kodak. Population under 12,000.
Tiny-ass town.
Tiny-ass town. This all started with a promotion that Walmart and Sheetz was doing. Now, Sheetz, I don't know if you remember this. Sheetz started, along with Listerine, it was supposed to be for breath freshening. It was those little gelatin sheets of gelatin that would dissolve on your
very
tongue.
handy.
Well, Sheetz was the competing brand with Listerine. Sheetz brand created one that had some energy drink ingredients in it. So they were energy sheets. Mm-hmm. So Energy Sheets and Walmart teamed up to do a promotion. The idea was, it's called My Local Walmart. If you like your local Walmart on Facebook, the store with the most new likes by the middle of July will win a visit from Pitbull, Miami-based recording artist Pitbull.
Mr. 305.
Mr. 305, Mr. Worldwide. And it started at the end of June of 2012 and went through the middle of July. So this whole thing took place over less than 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So David Thorpe, we'll just call him @R, ARR, because he's still on Twitter, and John Hendren, @Fart, also still on Twitter. But they started working way back in the day for Something Awful. And they were some of the writers of some of the best articles.
Roaming Dad.
Fashion SWAT.
Yes.
Fashion SWAT. Any number. I mean, you could go through the archives of most of the best stuff. It's either one of those two. So these guys were pretty well known as being, let's just say, pranksters.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we mentioned John Hendren before in a previous episode about the Smash Mouth eat the eggs. Yeah, Guy Fieri cooked them Smash Mouth
They're
ate
too
them.
spicy for John.
And for the guy in Smash Mouth whose name I always forget.
Steve Hartwell.
Steve Hartwell, thank you.
R.I.P.
Jeez. But yes, so these guys kind of known for being pranksters already. This is 2012. I don't think they'd done the epic shoe roast yet, where they're going.
Dude, stop roasting my shoe.
I'm saying the shoes have problems. Baz Luhrmann ass footwear. Yeah. And so this here, according to an old Gawker article, Pitbull might be feeling a little less enthused about the whole thing once he learns that Thorpe and Hendren have incited thousands of Facebook users to like the official page of Walmart Kodak, the most remote Walmart in America. At the time of writing, the store's fan page already has more likes than the entire population of Kodak and is fast on its way to becoming, quote, the most liked Walmart store in the world. Asked why he hates Pitbull so much, Thorpe responds, I don't hate Pitbull. I think he'll have a wonderful time in Alaska. And so they created a hashtag, Exile Pitbull.
I like how we're on Know Your Meme here, and it's under Exile Pitbull, and there the title of this article is part of a series on Pitbull.
Oh, yeah, you should see the related entries on Pitbull. It's pretty fucking amazing. Let's see. Mr. Worldwide, The Dance with Fireball. Mr. Worldwide is pretty funny because a lot of people have been remixing that image of him like holding the globe. So yes, June 29th, 2012, John Henry, David Thorpe, they announced it on Twitter at Pitbull is having a contest where he'll visit the local Walmart that gets the most FB likes. At Fart and I are sending him to Kodak, Alaska. And so they started adding Exile Pitbull to tweets, inviting followers to like the Facebook page. A screenshot of Thorpe's tweets wound up on Reddit, and I think this is where it really took off, on the R Funny subreddit, getting 16,000 upvotes, and which resulted in the Facebook page for Kodak, Alaska, getting 50 new likes per minute.
That's insane.
And then, of course, Gawker picked it up. That was the article we talked about. The day later, Pitbull used the hashtag himself on Twitter. I hear there's bear repellent at Kodak, Alaska, at Walmart specials, at Sheets, hashtag Exile Pitbull, Dale. In the meantime, I mean, it hit everywhere. Between Gawker, HuffPost, ABC News, CNN, Time, like it went nuts. Everybody was talking about this. Now, Pitbull fans, on the other hand, decided that they were going to turn the tables and make it so that he went to the Walmart in Miami. So the hashtag KeepPitbull305 is the counter hashtag. Pitbull responding with just, it's a movement, dale, keep Pitbull305. And so Kodak won. Okay, the Walmart Kodak page got 70,000 plus likes and won the contest. Pitbull responded with a sense of good humor. Now, he's on tour in Spain when he's recording this.
So let you go pick Mr. 305, but I said Mr. Worldwide. I'm over in Madrid, Spain right now, rocking Rio. And there's a huge Walmart / Sheets energy strip campaign going on. And I heard that Kodak, Alaska has the most likes due to someone that thinks he was playing a prank. So I said, okay, great, this sounds really good. Well, you gotta understand that I will go anywhere in the world for my fans. So I want to thank Walmart for the opportunity, Sheets Energy Strip for the opportunity, and with that said, I want to invite that someone who thinks that it's a joke to Kodak, Alaska, with me. With that said, enjoy a little bit of my world tour here in Madrid, Spain, rockin' Rio. Follow me to stage and follow me to Kodak. Dale.
And in good spirits, he posts this video saying, yep, you know what? You guys might think it's a joke, but I'll go anywhere for my fans. And so he did.
Yeah. Yeah. To his credit,
Yes.
Pitbull went to Kodak, Alaska, and seemed to keep some good spirits about himself.
Oh, he loved it. From what we see in these following series of tweets there, yeah, he really enjoyed himself. And apparently David Thorpe did as well. Here's David Thorpe posting a photo of himself with Pitbull. Delay him doing the big thumbs up. He's got a Suicide Machines t-shirt on. Hanging
out. I forgot about the Suicide Machines shirt. It's so I love that David looks like such an early 2010s music writer because that's what he was.
Yeah,
Like, this is what we all looked like.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
Disheveled hair, chunky glasses, a zip-up hoodie over a band shirt. Like,
So he was writing for the Boston Phoenix. He says, Pitbull invited me to go to Alaska with him. This is July 10th. So this is before the results are even out. In case you missed this whole stupid thing, Pitbull announced a contest. For laughs, my friend John Henry and I started a Twitter campaign to send him to Kodak, Alaska. It took off on Reddit and Gawker. Within the few days, the AP made it a national story. On July 3rd, I woke up to text telling me the story had made it to NPR and Good Morning America. Throughout the day, it wound up on CNN, Billboard, and a bunch of other places. Then around 8 p.m., Pitbull hit me with a tweet. You should come with me to Kodiak since you are so invested in going there, bro. In me going there, bro. You're welcome, the number 2. Of course, I accepted. I'd be a fool not to join Pitbull in the frozen north. Anything could change, he says. Voting ends July 16th. Pitbull could retract his invitation. Miami could pull ahead. Kodiak could be destroyed in a volcanic eruption. Most likely, the whole thing will stop being funny and fade away. But tonight, it kind of looks like I'll be Zumba-ing my ass to Alaska. Better get my shit together. Here's my Kodiak to-do list. He says, make sure this isn't a weird dream where Pitbull invites me on an Alaskan vacation and I can't wake up. No, it's real this time. This is truly a thing. Scan Pitbull's tweet for veiled passive-aggressive vibes. Have a small panic attack about Pitbull's entourage feeding me to a bear. Inconclusive. Better double-check it for romantic vibes as well. Get in touch with a former Kodiak resident for a little recon. Says ex-Kodiak Coast Guard brat Andy Delgado, I hear they just recently opened a Taco Bell in the past few years. People were pissed because it replaced a KFC.
that is some small-town beef.
Furthermore, the last celebrity that I know of that visited Kodiak was Donny Osmond back in the 90s sometime. People freaked out about that. Check the CNN comments to get a feel for the local mood. Quote, I live in Kodiak and most people here really don't care about this. Frankly, Kodiak and Alaska in general is a place for exiles. We like to think of our remoteness as sanctuary for those who don't fit in anywhere else, hence our crackpot reputation. It's a pastiche of personality and culture that would take Pitbull if no other place wanted him. Let him do what he wants. Just don't scare all the fish and deer away with loud music. And then the last bit on his bullet points is rent that Kevin Costner Ashton Kutcher joint The Guardian, which takes place in beautiful Kodiak. Movie involves Coast Guard heroes drowning in icy water nonstop. Mentally prepare for nightmares where Pitbull throws me off a helicopter into a merciless, churning gray sea. Oh, David's got a way with words, doesn't he? And so, yes, he did go. He went with Pitbull to Alaska, and a Something Awful front page article covered it all. The title, Dr. David Thorpe Meets Pitbull, written by John Hendren. And it's really just a series of tweets. So David arriving, Anchorage Airport is full of enormous stuffed bears.
Oh, wow. My friend Robert, I haven't thought about that username in a while.
He responds.
So is the Castro dude. Oh, yes, the San Francisco joke. Yes,
yeah. David Thorpe in Kodiak just had to sign a thing saying I can't kill or gut fish, deer, or bears in my hotel room. I told the guy, sorry, dude, but if there's a bear in my room, I'm probably going to have to kill it. Hotel guy told me to be, quote, bear aware if I took a walk. Haven't run into any yet, and yet there's a stuffed one in the hotel lobby, which he takes a picture with. Let's see here. Just met a family of rad people plucking salmon out of the river like it was a damn grocery store. Just saw a raven the size of a damn watermelon, all caps. He posts a beautiful view. This is a 5-minute walk from my hotel. Kodiak rules. He arrives at the Walmart with the sign, congratulations, Walmart store. And then another one, Bear Attacks of the Century in the Walmart store. Apparently there's a book, True Stories of Courage and Survival. Larry Muller and Marguerite Rice wrote this book. He took a photo of a bear, another stuffed bear in the Walmart with a sign that says Dale. Pitbull doesn't get in till tomorrow. So now I'm just scoping the place out for him. So here's Call-in Bears. Apparently this is a DVD, how to get bears to Bears to come to you. They come to eat, it says. The only room the hotel had ready when I checked in was a dogs allowed room. And to be quite honest, I wasn't really prepared for this strong of a dog smell. Kodiak under heavy fog. I hope Pitbull won't be stuck in Anchorage or I'll have to appear in his stead. And so the people in Kodiak did set up a nice little band shell. Pretty decent size little crowd there. Pitbull arriving now. Non-media asked to move to the back of the room. There are 3 non-media people. Back of the room is 5 feet from the front. Just met Pitbull, David says. He shook my hand and said, keep bullshitting. Next thing you know, we'll be on the moon. Fucking A, man. I love that. I love that guy. My Pitbull handshake hand smells like cologne I'll never be able to afford. Founder of CEO of Sheets is up on stage. Now I'm starstruck. Pitbull strides into the gazebo, instantly owns the place. This photo and a couple other ones from this trip really makes me realize just how short Pitbull is.
He's not a very tall dude. Like, he's well proportioned.
Yeah. He still stands out because of his fucking Pitbull.
He's Pitbull. He's
Mr. Worldwide, Mr. 305. Yeah, he's just during this. He says Pitbull just shouted me out in front of like hundreds of people. He just pledged to shout out Kodiak in a song. He's presented the key to the city of Kodiak by the mayor. Now he can get into any locked door in town. Better do the deadbolt. David, Pitbull is mad classy. He's enjoying the hell out of this event. All the PR people are super stressed out, but he's just Kodiak chilling. Pitbull then keeping this up here. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Sun Tzu, winky smiley face, @R, hashtag Pitbull Kodiak, Dale. Once it was all over, David Thorpe posting, this concludes the weirdest thing of my life. Now time to drive around Kodiak looking for bears.
I like the tweet below this. I'm sorry. Big shout out to Kmart and Listerine Fresh Strips for making this whole thing happen.
Pitbull then saying, thank you, Kodiak. I am honored, truly. So apparently there was a indigenous ceremony that he was involved in.
He's holding this cute little baby. And that's the photo I think of. Because, like,
yeah,
I just think that's a really cool shot.
I just love this idea. He just, like, shows up. He's rolling with it. He's rolling with it as best as anyone can. He's probably like, fuck this guy. But he's got a sense of humor about it. He's like, you know what? I'm here. Fuck it. Let's do it. Let's make it happen.
There's no harm in trying to make this not suck. He doesn't really have anything to lose here except enjoy himself.
Exactly right. And I think that's a big part of why there's just so much interesting stuff around this. So there was, Pitbull did put together a video. This is another one from the official Pitbull, The Road to Kodiak. And David's in the video.
Amazing. I don't think I've seen this. Looks like a beautiful town.
Oh, yeah. So he went from Kodiak, Alaska to his next tour stop in Atlanta.
That's a long
It's a hell of a flight. And I mean, even if you're flying private.
Some of those energy sheets.
I'm telling you. What a story. You know, like 2 guys shit posting.
that used to be like...
Used to be every internet story, yeah.
Yeah, like we took advantage of something.
Yeah.
Like, remember, people found out that you could just troll corporate social media accounts by saying... David Thrope, again, saying that there was a raccoon at Qdoba named Swimp.
Swimp, yeah. I thought it was Arby's. I thought Arby's was
Arby's. I think it was. I think Qdoba was at one.
He did
point.
a bunch of them, yeah. But Swimp was it.
Oh yeah, they said there was a raccoon behind the grill, and when I said something about it, they said, "Don't worry, it's just Swimp."
That's Swimp. He's been there. Yeah. You could really rile people up in the early days of Twitter, especially, or even message boards and whatnots, and like, oh, we're going to do this poll about where we should send Taylor Swift to. And
I concerned trolled Dick's Sporting Goods Facebook page, being like, I really don't appreciate my children seeing a store and they just see the word dick. I think I trolled Red Lobster.
Yeah.
Like, you could just there's some social media intern that's like sweating beneath the collar.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah. He doesn't want there to be something that becomes an out of control PR gaffe. Mm-hmm. But now everything's an out of control PR gaffe, so it's normalized. Everything's fucked.
Yeah. Everybody sucks.
Yeah, there's no composure, there's no sincerity.
Well,
it's
really either that
what you're doing is you're playing against that sincerity and you're exploiting it for basically the equivalent of doing an armpit fart.
Well, it's either that or it's the the Sunny Delight Twitter account pretending they have depression. I can't tell which one's worse.
The SpaghettiOs account posting a 9/11 remembrance tweet.
I think it was Sunny D's was like, I just can't do this anymore. Jesus Christ. When the brands pretend they're human or that kind of thing, it's like that's a very different internet than like two guys deciding, you know what? For fun, we're gonna send Pitbull to the furthest Walmart. But there was also something similar maybe a year or two later. It was, your school with the most votes gets to have a Taylor Swift show. And internet trolls, I can't remember who actually did it. They sent her to a school for the deaf. That kind of thing.
Or the Fred Durst Waste Disposal Center.
Oh, yeah. Those kinds of things were like, they're harmless. They're kind of fun. It's the internet of old that I think is, you're right, largely missing. We don't see that anymore. Because everyone's been burned by these things too many times now, I think. But every once in a while, you get a fun one. A couple of years ago, there was a Burger King thing where you could make your own burger. But it was like, one was just like a burger made entirely of patties, or one was like the Hitler burger, or like
or the one that became a meme of its own besides that, which was none beef left.
None pizza with left beef.
It was a pizza crust. It was barely cut,
yeah.
And it just had like 3 or 4 pieces of like ground beef chunks
scattered in the side of the box. None pizza with left beef. It's like, all right, man. Sure. There was a wild uncertainty about that kind of internet shit.
Yeah. I don't try to over romanticize any like sense of nostalgia for like an internet or moments that have passed, but I always come back to like, but we should comprehend what has been lost.
Oh, absolutely.
What has changed, and wonder how we got there. And this right here, I think, was the end of people finding a way to troll the corporatized internet space. This was like the end of it. Like I say by 2014, you couldn't troll a social media account for SpaghettiOs. You couldn't create a fake Dinty Moore account.
There was a great internet historian did a video about these types of things where they would like take votes, or they would do surveys and things like that. And I think it was a couple of years after that. It might have been closer to Trump being elected, where there were a few more others, because I remember the Taylor Swift one, going to the school for the deaf, a few ones where they left an open hashtag for some convention to where people were posting, hardcore gay porn on this hashtag, and it automatically went up on a Jumbotron at the convention.
The printer.
Yeah.
Bruce Dackler.
Yes.
That's where we also got Weed Lord Boner Hitler.
Weed Lord Boner Hitler. Yeah, the ACE, because it was like the Affordable Care Act will hurt my family. And then you would sign your name. Well, people would sign Weed Lord Boner Hitler, or they'd sign like Dick Durbin's an asshole, or whatever.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I just remember Bruce Dackler.
Yeah.
It was like the last one that got printed before they pulled the plug.
We'll have to, you know what? That's actually a good subject for a future episode. We'll put that in our little back pocket there. Well, speaking of your back pocket,
Dale.
Mr. Worldwide.
You know what happens on the internet?
That's
right. You know what they say? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Uh-huh.
But what happens on the internet didn't happen.
Okay, all right. Dale. As cheesy as he is and as weird as he is, I gotta give him love, man. He's fucking
blast
great.
at that show.
Yeah.
I wish I didn't have to
leave. Yeah.
Oh, I was like having
your coworker said, "You left that for this?"
Yeah, people were like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Right. I would have said the same
overtime that did not exist.
Yeah, I would have said the same thing if
I was like, I left fucking Pitbull, or like people were like shirking, like
yeah.
I was like, this is the only time ever I think any of those people ever saw me upset. Like I was living the 305 lifestyle.
I'm telling you, I'm waiting for Timber to come on.
It was such a fun show, and I don't do like big pop spectacles. Like I don't really photograph or attend those kind of shows that often, and
But the dude is fun. He's a fun guy.
It was a blast. It was great.
I mean, there's a reason why he sold a lot of records. He's a fun dude.
He's a fun dude. Like people were having a great time. Like I only saw a couple people that looked like they were a little too fucked up on something. But
well,
most
that's
people, most people look like they had like their 2 drinks, and they were having a good time.
Well, speaking of people, it's time for Shock.jpg.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for.
Shock.jpg.
This one features 2 people Two very attractive people, in fact. But what they're doing, not so attractive. Found this one on 4chan. Anal acrobats / bunny rabbits.
Oh, no.
So, I don't know how familiar you are with either one of these folks. The woman on top in the pink bikini top is Bobby Starr, and the woman on bottom is Sasha Grey.
Oh, the girlfriend experience.
The girlfriend experience. And
this alone is a time capsule.
So they're fake humping, and then Bobby does a little butt smooch, bites the butt. Lick of the butt. You know, it's just...
This is like softcore almost at this point.
Takes a sniff of the booty hole through the underwear. Pulls the thong aside, spreads the old butthole. Still sniffing, by the way.
This is how I was when I worked at Whole Foods and they brought out like the freshly cut seaside cheddar samples.
Just like that, huh?
Just really getting in there.
Something slowly emerging.
Oh,
the fact
no.
this is almost 2 minutes is what makes it really insufferable. It's like, come on, guys, get to the point.
Sasha Grey needs to eat her fiber.
I'm telling you. There we go. Licking it. So there was some sort of Easter egg up the butt, and Bobby Starr licks it, puts it in her mouth, licks it again, and then that's apparently there is an entire 30-minute segment of them doing this. Bobby Starr has one in her butt as well, and they pass them back and forth. It's not great.
No, it's not. It's not great at all. Still, every person I've known that has done porn has always said the fetish stuff is the easiest shit.
Oh, sure. Anal acrobats. That's the name of the film. Which
God, I was like wondering, like, as I'm watching this object breach,
emerge slowly. Slowly is the problem. That's.
I mean, you don't want to like force it and like and risk like tearing the muscle.
No, but it's also like, man, speed this film up a little bit.
Yeah, this is.
You're keeping me in suspense. Maybe that's part of it for some people, but it's not for me.
Yeah.
Just like, let's go.
But also just like the sniffing, just like yes,
something's in there.
It smells like a butthole. Yes, it does.
Yeah, exactly. What are you smelling there, Bobby? What is going on here? But then to take it and put it all the way, because it wasn't just like lick the little egg. That's no, it was like
Pop it in there, pop it in like a jawbreaker.
Yeah, exactly
like some
right.
Ed and Eddie shit over here.
Bop. And then takes it out of her mouth, licks it again. What didn't you get the first time? What are you going back for another lick
I
of?
don't think round 2 is going to be that different of an experience.
There's nothing you haven't already tasted. And the fact
Amazing.
that that's 1 minute and 48 seconds feels fucking forever.
It does feel fucking forever.
Feels like a very long time. And the fact that there's 30 more minutes of this, if not more than, because apparently there was stuff that was cut.
The director's cut.
There's a director. Released the Snyder cut of the Anal Acrobats movie. Yeah.
I'll fall asleep during this one too.
4 hours. Of
Fucking
just,
bet. Fucking bet. I'll sleep. Coworkers were talking about comic book movies the other day, and
Yeah.
they said I fell asleep during the Justice League Snyder cut.
That's 4 hours long.
And they're like, really? I go, yeah, I just like woke up. I asked my friends if I missed anything, and they all had this really sad look on their face. They're like, no.
You missed the scene where the Flash eats a hot dog really slowly. That's about it. Yeah.
Is that really a thing that happens?
Okay, so Iris is in a car crash. He's in a job interview at a doggy daycare. He notices the car crash happening. It's the Flash. He can move faster than life and time itself. So he goes, he fixes the whole car crash thing. He gets Iris out of the way, and then he grabs a hot dog from the local hot dog vendor, feeds all the dogs in the doggy daycare a hot dog, and then has one in his hand as he gets time back to normal. But that takes 10 fucking minutes in the film. What I just told you takes 10 minutes because Zack Snyder, slow motion. Everything in that movie takes forever.
Yeah, that movie is a slog.
If you break it up into hour-long things and it's like an episode,
Yeah.
it's an enjoyable experience. But I could not watch it all the way through. I had to break it in half. But I think if you did it even shorter, if you did just like hour segments, you could do it. Kind of like when they did the Hateful Eight. When Netflix released the big director's cut of Hateful Eight, they chopped it up into 4 parts. And that worked.
Yeah, I watched that, and I forgot that was director's cut, but yeah, it worked. It flowed a little better. It gave you time to go like a pee break, or like
Yes.
or like I'm going to save this for another day, or something along those lines.
Sometimes that works.
Seeing like how fucking bad the Justice League stuff is and all of the Snyderverse stuff is, and like how coherent and pretty tight like the Matt Reeves stuff is.
Yeah, it is pretty interesting. And that, like, maybe we don't need this.
Maybe we don't need a $200 million movie that makes no sense and has a terrible flimsy plot about the mother box. You know what? I'm going to be petty. Like, I don't want, like, the villain.
Darkseid?
Well, his minion.
Oh, Steppenwolf.
Steppenwolf. Fucking stupid name.
I like to do Steppenwolf, right?
Yeah,
Magic Carpet.
but
Okay.
I feel like he picked probably some of the worst characters. Like, bring fucking, okay, is the villain going to be Kite Man?
That's a perfect segue because it is now time for the breath mint.
Yes, it is.
It's time for your mom's favorite part of the show. It's time for the breath mint.
And buddy, do I have a breath mint for you?
All right.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
What if the Wolverine said it?
Sadly, he doesn't.
But what Sipes does say,
Yeah, exactly.
please, I can't be canceled twice. I'm already.
Oh yeah, he does say that in the movie. They're going to cancel us.
You say I was.
So, Deadpool and Wolverine. I wanted to like it. I wanted to like it very, very much. I gave it a 3 stars on Letterboxd only because a number of things went right. Their music selection, as always, on point. They kind of skewer the whole multiverse thing with Marvel movies. I love that they got some really great actual cameos that kind of felt like, okay, they're kind of serious about this. So the basic plot of the movie, I don't know if you've seen this. Have you seen this yet? Have you seen Deadpool?
I haven't seen this.
Okay.
I've kind of.
Do you have any
avoided it.
interest in seeing Deadpool and Wolverine?
I feel like most of it's already been spoiled, and you know me, I'm the sort of person where I can usually have media spoiled for me. And
It doesn't matter.
And
Okay.
it's really just more like, oh, okay, now I have a framework. Like, my brain is like, if something's spoiled for me, as it were, if I'm not like super precious about it, then it just gives me like an outline to be like, okay, now I'm watching it and I'm trying to not necessarily think ahead of the movie, but like, okay, well, how does it connect these dots? How well does it perform to this outline?
If you're really keen on seeing it, I recommend seeing it. It's on video on demand right now. If you want to avoid spoilers, I'd say skip ahead about 2 minutes or so. So the basic premise of it is this. Deadpool has fucked up so much that he's gone back to just like, I threw the suit away. I'm living as Wade Wilson. I got my friends. I got my ex. Life's fine. The Time Variance Authority from the Loki show shows up and says, yeah, actually, your universe is going to die. We're going to keep you here until your universe is dead because you're useful. Well, why is my universe dying? Well, an anchor being, which is a whole stupid fucking thing that they pick up and then abandon, your anchor being died. Once that happens, the universe that you're in is dying too. In this case, the anchor being was Old Man Logan from the Logan movie. So they literally dig up the corpse of Logan from Logan. And it's like, well, I can't, he's not regenerating, so I got to find another one. So he goes universe hopping to try to find a Wolverine that's just fucked up enough to agree to be his universe's Wolverine. So he finds one, and Hugh Jackman plays Wolverine for most of them. There's some pretty bit of fun stunt casting for an alternate Wolverine, which I won't spoil because it's really a hoot. But yeah, he goes from universe to universe trying to find a Wolverine. He gets one, brings it back, but then the TVA catches them both and sends them to the Void. You saw Loki season 1. You're familiar with the Void because that's where that big smoke monster comes and eats things. They're stuck there, and they're stuck there with all these old 20th century Fox superheroes. You got your Elektra from the Daredevil movie. You got your Blade. Wesley Snipes does.
He blinks.
He does open his eyes. The character of Deadpool says, yeah, I never really liked you. Wesley Snipes as Blade. Yeah, the feeling's mutual. You've got Chris Evans, but he's not Captain America. He's Johnny Storm. So you've got some nice callbacks to the Fox era. Even the character who X-23 Laura from Logan shows up there. Other Deadpools. You've got the long-abandoned Cassandra Nova. If you read the comics, that is Charles Xavier's twin who tried to murder him in the womb. Who
Is
also,
that where that trope comes from?
in the comics especially. But yeah, you got Cassandra Nova, you got Juggernaut. Strangely, in this instance, not played by Vinnie Jones. I was very disappointed. We almost could have had everybody.
But got a guy who
Pretty close.
Looks
He looks
pretty
like
close to
him.
and like also like fucking swole.
Yeah.
Not wearing a muscle suit.
Ray Park does come back as Toad. That's nice. You got the guy coming back from X2 as the fire starter guy. His name, that's not his right name, but you got a nice, okay. Remember when 20th Century Fox was doing X-Men movies?
And they were kind of fun.
Hey, remember Elektra? No? Well, it's a 2-hour-long movie. It feels really long by like 15 minutes. There's a lot of great action sequences. I have to give it that. They really know how to shoot their action scenes well. They even do a riff on the Old Boy hallway because it starts on a street and then it goes into a bus and it goes out the back of the bus.
Yeah.
They do a whole fight sequence inside a Honda Odyssey, which is just Wolverine and Deadpool kicking the shit out of each other for like 5 minutes straight. It's wonderful. But Cassandra Nova as a villain is interesting, and she's played with this really icy perfection. I cannot remember the woman's name who plays her, but this is really interesting. The TVA is useless, just like they are in the Loki show. There's a bit of tomfoolery at the end there. Overall, I mean, it's a fun ride. It's largely inconsequential because they got to keep it going. They got to
keep it going, and they also don't know what they're doing anymore.
Well, there's that. It's a gentle way to bring Deadpool into the MCU now that 20th Century Fox is no longer a studio. So they've kind of, and they keep making reference to, oh yeah, well, can you believe we're saying this in a Disney movie? Wink, wink. Like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Intentionally fuck
Doesn't
you.
he say come?
Oh yeah, but you can say it, but you can't show it. And so that's the, and there's also a line about like, do you want to do cocaine? Feige said that was the one thing we can't do. What about Bolivian marching powder? He knows all the references that you have as a list. So there's a long running riff about doing coke on screen, which feels kind of personal. I don't know. It's kind of weird. But Ryan Reynolds also meets multiple versions of himself in the movie, not just because there's multiple Deadpools, but because there's a nice pool who's like Ryan Reynolds,
beautiful hair,
with the beautiful hair, and hey Van Milder he calls him. Like there's a dog pool and a lady Deadpool and a Western Deadpool and a sci-fi Deadpool and a kid Deadpool who's like fuck you old man, giving him the finger. Like it's largely a movie in search of a purpose. That's my problem with Deadpool Wolverine. Okay, who is this for? People who want to see Hugh Jackman in the yellow suit. Okay, you got that for a big chunk of the movie. Fine. Poking the movie with a stick, going, do something.
I was kind of disappointed that they were going to go that direction with trying to riff on the multiverse stuff.
I mean, they kind of do it in a way that's like, okay, they realize this is ridiculous just as much as you and I do. But that doesn't make it any better. You're still doing it.
I agree. And I still think the weird little version of the X-Men universe that they had carved out with the first Deadpool movies, because they had to, budgets were so weird and the licensing was so weird that like you had to get like, we can give you like one C tier X-Men and one D tier, and so like, okay, what about Negasonic Teenage Warhead? Which is a character that no one remembers, I think, outside of the early 90s.
Well, because didn't they also splinter off and do X-Force too?
I did appreciate that they kind of continued the fucking Losers Club and Deadpool 2.
Yeah, with Pete, but played by Rob Delaney.
Rob Delaney, one of the nicest men I've ever met.
Well, he's back. He's
back. I know he's back.
He's in Wolverine Deadpool.
Isn't he also a Deadpool?
Pete Pool, yes.
Amazing.
Pete Pool does make an appearance, and it's probably the highlight of the latter half of the movie. Yeah,
that's great. That's great. Rob Delaney is a treasure. Really
so
sweet,
much.
Thoughtful guy, and also pretty damn funny. One of the craziest stories about finding sobriety.
Oh God, yeah.
He broke I think all the bones in his body, pretty much.
His books, these autobiographical books, are just stunning. That comedy series he did,
the one about where he knocks up the British lady.
Yeah,
I forget what that's called.
Hold on. And now I have to, just because I loved it so much. The show I was looking for, by the way, is called Catastrophe.
That's right.
And he plays a character named Rob, so that's fun.
Yeah. I only saw the first season.
Well, the second is great because they lead into having Carrie Fisher in it. He's just a hoot. I love Rob Delaney. He's a treasure.
Yeah, absolutely. Really great follow on Twitter.
Oh God, yes,
person.
I love that guy. But yeah, he's in the Deadpool thing, and boy, he's just a hoot. How about you, Brian? You got anything?
Gosh, if we're going to keep this comic book fucking themed,
absolutely.
Have you watched The Penguin?
I have not watched The Penguin. Tell me about The Penguin. I want to know about The Penguin. Colin Farrell, yes?
Yeah, acting his fucking ass off.
I bet.
It takes place not long after. It feels like days after the end
Batman.
of the Batman, and there is a power vacuum because
Falcone is dead.
Falcone, John Turturro.
Rest in peace. No, he's alive, but the character.
John Turturro's character has died, and there is a quick chain of events of the Penguin trying to secure his position. And he gets into the Iceberg Club, and he goes into Falcone's private, residence in there. And he knows where Falcone had, like, his oppo on people. And so he, cracks open this wall, and he grabs, there's, like, jewels and a bunch of other shit. And Falcone's son appears, who's now been delegated as the new head of the crime family.
Sure.
And his son, if you are not familiar with the comic books, is almost always portrayed as like a psychopath, or at least a shithead fail son. I feel like a couple storylines and a couple iterations of Alberto Falcone that I think in some stories he is released from Arkham.
Yes, Long Halloween was the one, I think.
Halloween, which is a great little graphic novel.
Little one-off, yeah. Because he's the holiday killer in that.
Yep.
Which is their kind of replacement for Calendar Man.
Yeah. Calendar Man kind of sucks.
Calendar Man does suck.
Alberto is not long for the world, and he is belligerent towards Oz, and Oz loses his temper and fucking murks the dude.
Hell yeah.
So Oswald has his dead body, and he's like, fuck am I going to do? And he goes out to his Maserati. There's some fucking kids trying to lift like the fucking wheels, and he shoots at the car. He misses, and there's one kid that doesn't get away. I believe his name's Victor, and Victor kind of becomes his lackey under the threat of death.
Okay.
And is implied that Oswald's going to kill this kid.
Okay.
But then he realizes that like maybe that's not fair.
Yeah.
And so decides to make him his lackey, and kind of like try to teach him up in the way of being a mafia tough. To introduce him to this world, to give him the street smarts, and that hopefully he can make more out of himself than being like a fucking street hoodlum.
Huh. Okay.
And so the first episode is mostly about this power vacuum, about Oswald and Victor kind of becoming chummy with each other, and Victor also being used to help move the body around. And Alberto's sister, Sophia, she's the one that is. I'm not a huge Batman guy, but I believe she's usually not like the broken sibling.
Generally, no.
She's flipped around here. She's the one that comes out Arkham. And she is actually, if you find out in the second episode, she is known as the serial killer, the Hangman.
Yes. Okay.
And I don't know if that rings any bells to you.
Sort of, kind of. I vaguely remember the name. Yeah. It seems like one of those weird DC one-shot type of deals. Yeah.
But it's like interesting because I do like smaller stories. Mm-hmm. And you're kind of scratching that Sopranos itch because you got the mafioso stuff.
Yeah.
But you also have some comic book shit. Like, you're still seeing references to the Riddler.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of references to Batman. There's a lot of references to the mayor-elect.
Yeah.
Their AOC stand-in.
I forgot about that. Yeah, Bella Real.
You're only 2 episodes in, but it's very compelling. It's very well done. Colin Farrell, again, acting his ass off.
As he did in The Batman as well, yeah.
A man of circumstances. Like, a guy that, like, I didn't want to get into this because, like, I fucking love being a fucking hoodlum or being a mafia guy. It's just like, this is how I figured out how to make shit work. In the movie, you kind of think he's somebody. And he was Falcone's right-hand man. But with Falcone dead, he's no longer in that position. And so he's trying to, keep his neck off the chopping block. And it's just interesting to see a character like the Penguin, who has in all these different iterations in the DC media, to be kind of a sweaty guy.
Yeah.
Like, he's confident and he's calculated, but he kind of fucks up. But when he fucks up, he's smart enough to kind of swing it back in his way. And that's kind of the fun of it, is seeing how the pendulum is swinging above him.
The sword of Damocles just hanging.
This thing is dangling against him, and he's like he knows it's going to drop. And he knows when it drops, he's got to turn the right way. But until then, he can't take his eye off of it.
Which is a very Sopranos type of vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, the inevitable.
Yeah, it's coming.
You just got to survive long enough to at least say you had fun or you got what you wanted.
Interesting.
So it's fun. It's a little too Sopranos-y for most people, I think.
Well,
but again, I think the Matt Reeves iteration of Gotham is compelling.
Yeah, much better than the old TV version of Gotham from the television show of the same name. Yeah, I felt like that was a little much.
It feels grounded, but also a little fantastical.
Which is what you need.
It feels familiar, but different. It feels like something a little bit out of time, out of our reality, but not too far removed. And again, like, it works. I do hate that there's a lot of stuff that's obviously shot on the volume. Fuck you, the volume. All my homies hate the volume. All my homies hate the volume. It only works for certain things. It shouldn't be used for everything.
Right.
It shouldn't be used as an excuse for not hiring union workers. First of all,
rear projection, because I mean, even Kubrick used rear projection. Like, there's a reason rear projection exists, and the volume is not it.
But it's fun. I'm enjoying it. It's, again, if you've read a few Batman one-offs that deal with that part of the Batman narrative, it's a lot of fun. Like, if you've read The Long Halloween, I forget, there's a couple others. It's a hoot. There's enough to chew on if you've read those and enjoyed those. And if you're not familiar, the characters are compelling enough on their own. The lady playing Sophia,
Christina Milioti,
is killing it.
Yeah.
A lot of people are really doing a great job acting wise. Her in particular very much feels like a real ass mob boss daughter. She's introduced at least in the first 2 episodes as someone who is pretty consistently underestimated.
Well, you know, she was in The Sopranos. She was one of Meadows' friends.
Oh, that's right. Huh.
I'm intrigued. Very intrigued. The interesting thing. Okay, so you mentioned the guy who plays Vic Falcone.
Yeah.
He was in a Marvel project, a TV version of Runaways, which was a Brian K. Vaughan comic. So he's done both sides of the fence now. He's done the Marvel and the DC. That's pretty interesting.
Brian K. Vaughan, what a guy.
Yeah. You gave me Saga. That's a Brian Vaughan book, isn't it?
Yeah. Brian K. Vaughan, and he did Paper Girls, which is a favorite of mine.
Brian Vaughan, I mean, Jesus Christ. He's got a CV a mile long.
Yeah, and all of it, from what I can tell, is fantastic.
So I'm very excited about The Penguin. I want to see it.
I got a couple things I can riff on if you have. Do you have something else?
Gravity.
The movie.
Sandra Bullock.
I was gonna say it was Sandra Bullock. I'm like Alfonso Mongoose.
Alfonso Cuarón's. Boy, to go from And Your Mother 2 to this sci-fi epic. This was 2013, 2014, somewhere in there.
2014. I know I had to say like Buffalo Bill.
I don't know either.
Sandra Bullock was in space. She was alienated from her family.
So my daughter said something about like, we learned about stuff about space this week, and I thought it was really cool. I'm like, well, it's spooky month, and it's a movie about space. Perfect. Let's watch Gravity. And I think everybody really enjoyed it.
You didn't watch that one Brad Pitt movie?
Oh, Ad Astra?
I liked that.
I liked it too. Yeah, it was great. It was a little silly, but
the spaceship full of piss off monkeys.
Come on, what's not to like?
I fucking love that part.
No,
I'm like, yeah,
good.
it is scary.
It is very scary.
I can imagine you're in the depths of space and you're like, what's here? Like, it's fucked up apes.
Oh no,
the apes, they learned to be mad, which they couldn't have done on Earth.
Nowhere else.
Nowhere else can we engineer primates to be that pissed.
They can't get it. They can't get out. They're pissed. Stuck. Yeah.
They can't remember their login for Netflix. They're fuming mad.
So they could watch Ad Astra. Yeah. So they. But no, Gravity is a great time at the movies. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It won a bunch of awards that year when it came out. And you're right. I think it was 2014. George Clooney, Sandra Bullock. It really is just those two because everyone else is killed off right away. it's stunning when you see it in 120 inches up here, and you got the big sound system going. It really is a stunning movie.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I'm
really very thankful I got to see it on the big screen.
Yeah, that was my one of very few film related regrets, is that I did not get to see Gravity on the big screen. It's super simple. Stuck in space. Space debris fucks your shit up. Now you're spinning untethered out in the darkness of space. How do you get home? And that's the whole movie. It's a lot shorter than I remember. It's only about 90 minutes.
It moves at a pretty good clip. It
Bang,
has
bang,
a
bang,
couple
yeah.
slow moments just to kind of reset things, the pacing.
Mm-hmm.
But then it doesn't take too long before it starts ramping up again.
Yeah, it definitely keeps a nice rhythm. And by the end of the film, you're just, oh, God, it's over. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Oh, shit.
Yeah, over and over again, the movie gives you oh, shit, oh, fuck moments.
Damn, that was Gravity?
Yeah.
Gravity did that?
Gravity did that. My least favorite piece of commentary on that was fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson was like, they should have called it Angular Momentum, the movie. I'm like, fuck you, man.
Fuck you.
It's a movie about, shut up. Shut up, Neil deGrasse Tyson. Fuck off.
Actually, you can't eat all the pussy.
It would be physically impossible to eat all that. He would say some nerd shit like that, wouldn't he?
I still think about the Michael Hale tweet. Look at this nerd on this.
Somebody using his laptop on a train like a dumbass nerd, I think was the... And everyone's correcting him. He's like, I think I would know if that was... But other than that, what
I'll do a little quick show rundown here.
Yeah, sure.
Got to photograph Jungle, the British neo-soul EDM group.
Named after the genre?
No, it's not named after. It's not jungle music.
Yeah. That's what confused me. Okay.
It feels like if Justice, like their more like brassy, bombastic compositions.
Okay.
Were performed with a real band instead of like just some shit being triggered on like Ableton.
Okay.
I thought I was maybe mistaken. I had seen a performance of them on TV that was on a TV show where they had an actual like brass band with them, and I was like, oh, that's cool as hell. Did not have a brass band with them, but they did have several musicians with them. Sounded great. Unfortunately, British or basically non-American bands have a really fucking weird idea of how media works here.
Okay.
And they're really oddly strict. So myself and the other house photographer, we got to shoot 4 songs, and then we were like kicked out of the venue. And so there's like 2 or 3 people I know that were at that show texting me like, dude, this is so fucking crazy. I'm like, I'm already home.
Sorry.
I'm already in bed. I'm glad you had a fucking cool time. The 4 songs I got to photograph were tight as hell.
Right.
I wish I could have stayed.
Right.
But that was really cool. I really like my photos. It was a super good time. The opener, Bass, B-A-S, is the Sudanese rapper from like Queens. And he was a ton of fucking fun. Had no idea who this guy was. I listened to a couple of songs beforehand. I was like, okay, I can fuck with this. But just a great vibe. Someone that I hope comes around through St. Louis again. It's like, oh, wow, what great energy. And then showing the body high vis and special interest and Bib, a hardcore band that I only saw like the last couple songs of their set. Didn't really get to photograph them. They sounded really cool. Apparently the guitar player is from here in St. Louis. It was a super fucking fun, cool show. Special interest, where everything I wanted to be, just weird and trashy and kind of scary for three like non-white queer people.
Hell yeah!
Electro punk band was like, oh, I think these people would like yell at me if like I smiled weird. And then High Vis, who I've photographed before, and the same room off Broadway, were fucking great. Way worse lighting for everything, which was a bummer, but I made it work. I had to fucking beat the shit out of those image files. I haven't had to fucking game the system, as it were, in Lightroom for, gosh, I feel like a decade.
Yeah, post-processing.
They barely look like photos. They don't even look like, they look like compositions. Like
wow.
They're rough.
Wow.
But like, that's how bad. I mean, I was shooting at the highest ISO of my camera and these are punk bands, heavy bands. They're moving quick. So
they're moving all around.
Kind of trying to keep it around 1/400, 1/500 exposure speed. not going great. But the photos turned out fine. But high vis were good. I'm fucking goddamn what I can't wait for the new record. It comes out in the month. Animal Sniffers also have a new record coming out at the end of the month. Everything off that fucking sounds tight. And I think the rumor is they're doing the big ass US tour early next year. So
nice.
I'm very stoked about that. The headliner there was Show Me the Body, which is a 3-piece death grind, just like super fucking heavy. It's heavy metal banjo almost. Post-hardcore bands is Wikipedia. I can see that.
Yeah.
I just did not expect that. I was not familiar with their swagger.
Okay.
I have listened to their music. I've been familiar with them as an entity, but didn't know what their live shows were like. And it turns out their live shows are fucking insane. I just didn't expect a banjo to sound that fucking heavy. All of this crazy shit to happen. The dude, they have a song with the singer from High Vis. He came out and did his song, and then like their guy that was doing merch came out and like rapped.
Yeah.
And,
okay.
the guy doing their merch had a fucking pre-roll on his ear. It fucking ruled. I don't know what he was rapping about because it was just like, what the... He just like came out of nowhere. And it's really hard to come out of nowhere on the stage at Off-Broadway, but it felt like that dude just like zipped.
Whoop. Yep.
And fucking the singer had his mic out. It was holding his mic out, and I was using a telephoto lens, so it's probably also why it just came out of nowhere. And I just see like a dude in a green shirt just like a flash. And all of a sudden I hear someone rapping. I'm like, it's the merch guy. The merch guy is fucking doing like this aggro, like Death Grips kind of fucking flow, which I'm fucking with. And I'm like, the fuck did everything? And they did a fucking cover of Sabotage by Beastie Boys.
Hell yeah.
It was quite an amazing show. I don't think I could skip seeing them.
It sounds like that's the kind of show you don't want to skip.
Yeah, I was super impressed. They had lighting that was coming up from the floor, like spotlights, like floodlighting.
Okay.
That was really interesting, and I got some really cool photos of that. That was one of the easier things I photographed last week. But fuck, what a show! Went on a little long, and I kind of expected it to go that way, but it must be a troubled tour because like the 3 or 4 dates before St. Louis. They kept like, hey, we're not playing, this room in Chicago. We're playing, a 300-400 cap, the same size as Off-Broadway. But like the last 3 or 4 shows before St. Louis were all like on social media, like, hey, we're not playing a bigger room. We are being downgraded, which has to not be great for one's ego, but ended up being kind of packed as far as Off-Broadway goes. Off-Broadway is like a 400 cap. Mike Judy used to always like at the Firebird be like, it's a 500 cap room. It's one of these fucking teeny bopper hardcore show, like fucking screamo bands. If it's like Parachute or I'm trying to think, there was some bands he booked where he like actually did, for as far as ticketing goes, put 500 people because they were all like 14-year-old kids with snake bites.
Yeah,
like 14-year-old kids don't take up as much space as like the fat diabetics to come and see like Trice or Thrice.
Fair enough. Yeah.
If it's a bunch of fucking yokels here to see fucking Local H, you only put about 350 of them, and them kids, they don't need so much space to enjoy the music. You see, you can fit them in there like sardines.
Get them in there.
Get them in there.
Yeah.
Oh, you want your little shirt there, Timmy? That's gonna be 35 buckaroos.
Ooh boy,
it was fucking cool.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I really enjoyed it. I'm a little dumb. I'm a little
what
sometimes.
What?
I know. No one listening to this is surprised that I doubt my mental capacities.
Huh?
I realized no one was buying any merch from Special Interest, and I was not necessarily feeling a little bad, but I was like, I should buy something. Like I got some money burned in my pocket. They had a long sleeve, and like that's one thing about like hardcore things. Like, why are those dudes always wearing like long sleeveless shit print? That's just not my vibe. I'm not really.
Let's cover the tattoos of the day job.
Is that really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so that you cover up your tattoos at your day job.
But you can also be like, yo, dude, I love fucking.
That's right. Yeah.
Guillotine dicks.
You got it.
Guillotine dicks from Sheboygan. Those are my boys.
You can wear it underneath your polo at the Best Buy. Yeah, you can.
Amazing. I never thought of that.
It's like the same thing about like metal dudes doing Vespas. Like it's because they got DUIs.
The DUI scooter. But they had a short sleeve, and the back graphic, it was a front print and the back print. I couldn't see the back print that well in the lighting, and like also I was tired. But the front print, because the main person in special interest, she's also like a like amateur film person.
Okay.
And they're kind of like a little edgy. And so the front of the shirt is made to look like it's an employee shirt for a like porno shop in the middle of nowhere.
Okay.
So it says special interest exotic media library or something along those lines.
Okay.
And then it has an address for like some podunk town, like Texas or something like that. And I'm like, fuck it, I'll buy it. And I bought it from the keyboard player, who was a very polite gay man, which all keyboard players are deep down. And I was like, I want to get that shirt. And he kind of paused for a second. He's like, okay. And I'm like, oh God, what am I? I'm like, you know what? It's one of those things, like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll give $27 some change to a fucking queer punk band from New Orleans. Like, I like, fuck it, whatever.
I'm
like,
committing to the bit. Yeah.
Like, yeah. What else am I going to do with $27? It's going to be more. It's going to be cooler than that.
Right.
So I get it home, and because the shirts were all plastic wrapped.
Oh,
very
okay.
professional.
Yeah.
I get home, and I take the shirt out of the packaging, and I look at the back. I throw it on the bed, and I just have this thought, like, huh. As a straight white man,
oh no,
I don't know. This is something I feel necessarily comfortable wearing, because it's an archival photo of Miss and Mrs. like gay black leather of like Philadelphia, 1985. It is a cool ass photo of two people in some fucking sick leather duds, like at like a train depot.
Okay,
it looks cool as hell, but I'm thinking like,
where am I going to wear this?
Where am I going to wear this?
I'm going to wear this to the store.
It's one of those things, like, I feel like it brings up more questions than answers.
Yes.
And I have a couple band shirts where I'm like, this is a really cool object.
Yeah.
The concept of this object is really fucking neat.
Yes.
It's a thing I would want to show to anyone that would come into my house that has interest in art or music. Like, look at, like, what a fucking cool shirt.
Right.
Myself, as a white guy with the skin of like onion paper, don't know if I can wear that shirt and be truthful to the world.
It's difficult.
Difficult. And of course, you know, I asked my ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
And she's like, I think you can wear it.
Well, okay.
I still don't feel, I feel better. I really bought it because I like the front graphic. I like the idea of like the band name also being
the name of a porno store.
Yeah, like it's like, because it kind of fits their vibes. They're a little trashy and transgressive like that. Like, special interest erotic media library is a great name for a porno shop in a highly conservative county in the middle of nowhere.
Absolutely. Better than Lion's Den, if you're going up.
I feel sorry for the father that gets that confused with Lion's Choice. Now, kids, you're gonna have to eat your edible panties. We got 16 hours before we get to Cedar Rapids or Cedar Point.
Yeah, where I'm doing Copilot. I'm doing Microsoft Copilot.
I'm doing Microsoft Copilot at the dog rendering plant.
Yeah,
we're clearing out all of the no-kill shelters today, boys. I got back from my job at the dog rendering plant, which is making. My job is taking the dogs from the children.
They pay me more.
They pay me more. They pay me more if I hit the kid to get them to let the loose of the dog.
Yeah,
I'm up to my 5th black eye this week.
On that note, I think it's about time for us to tell the people where to find us online. Brian?
Yeah.
Where can people find you?
Jesus Christ, if you want to find my ass, I don't know why you would. You can find me at iShotGuidebord, ISHOTGUIDEBORD. That's ISHOTGUIDEBORD. On the Twitter, Instagram, and other various social media platforms. It's a music photographer. If you want to check out my photography portfolio, it's assholemusicphotographer.com. If you want to check out my website that's still not up because I ain't got the fucking it's been down for like at least a month and a half now. That's over to musicphotographer.com. If you want to check out the last and only good music media whatever website in St. Louis, go over to theartsstl.com. Maybe one day I'll finally finish the fucking Frank Turner gel and Pitbull pieces, but I'm not fucking counting on it anytime soon because my life is a fucking dumpster fire. Jason,
hi there.
Where can they tell you to find where they found the best dog jerky in the Midwest?
Well, you can find me on various social medias as Videocrime, VIDEOCRIME, with the notable exceptions of TikTok and Instagram. There I am, Laser Goose CEO. You can also find me as part of a podcast that's not this one, called Submitted for the Approval of the Midnight Pals. There I play a fictionalized version of Stephen King. We just released a mini episode, The Tale of the Candyman. It's kind of a silly little episode. It's about 12 minutes long. You can find that at midnight-pals.simplecast.com or anywhere podcasts are sold. You can reach the show in a myriad of different ways, but my personal favorite is still, and always will be, the telephone. That's 314-246-9766, 314-AHOY POO, if you like to spell with your telephone. Shoot us an email, Jason at 48minutesofdogsbarking.com or Brian with a Y at 48minutesdogsbarking.com.
Fucking right.
So do that thing. Send us whatever you feel like, compliments, complaints, insults. You can also become a Patreon and support the show. Patreon.com/48minutesofdogs. There we have our weekly post-show hangout that we like to call Thanks, I Hate It. We're up to 25 episodes now. We're just rolling right along, as they say.
There's also the Mind Zone.
It is indeed the Mind Zone and various other, whatever we feel like. We're going to just kind of throw it up there, including we're coming up on the end of the year. We're getting there. We're 10 members at the $10 level. Really, anyone who gets in at the $10 level will get themselves a 90-minute commentary track on the Japanese puke fetish video, Garo Monster Home Delivery. We're going to make that happen. It'll just be a random Sunday where we come in here. And
tell the kids don't fucking go out in the yard.
Don't come anywhere near the studio.
We're fumigating. We're staying inside because we also have the filth inside of us.
Yeah, we need to get that out of there. So do that thing, patreon.com/4.
Shame you don't have blinds on these windows.
I've been wanting to. I need to get just there.
Yeah, shit, we did it.
We did it.
We did a fucking episode.
As we always say at this time, namaste, good luck, give mommy a good gut fucking, 25th Amendment, now eat the knife, and who ate all the pussy?